and you can get going. You can go ahead and start, Naveen.
Yep, I started sharing my screen.
Yeah, I see it.
Do you want to do the introduction, Diana?
Sure. So welcome to the new Dallas, Texas chapter. I'm Diana Gray. I'm the community marketing leader for the US, Canada, and South America. So I cover all the Americas. And today we have Naveen Chetlapala, who is the new chapter leader for the Dallas team. So we want to welcome everybody to the Dallas chapter. And one thing you can do for us is while you're listening to this, if you have any ideas on additional topics you would like to cover, please just put them in chat, and then we'll know what things to schedule in the future. So Naveen, if you want to talk a little bit about yourself. And
thanks, Diana. So myself, Naveen Chetlapalli. I am a solution architect at Ashling Partners. I've been working at Ashling Partners since 3+ years. It's been a great journey. Prior to that, I worked as a .NET developer. And at one point of time, I felt so much not learning anything new. But I wanted to shift my career by learning some new technology. Then I found UiPath. And there I started learning about UiPath and following some communities and all these things. So then I participated in a hackathon, and I supposed to win that. So from there, I started my goal of transitioning my career into an RPA developer. There, I started looking for jobs, and Ashling Partners is one of the one who hired me. And they gave me an opportunity to prove myself, and within very less time, I became a lead developer, and now I'm working as a solution architect at Ashling Partners. And Ashling Partners is one of the partners, diamond partners with UiPath. We are technical implementers, and we provide services for UiPath, other services as well. So without any further ado, we would like to discuss about UiPath Dallas chapter. And this is going to be a fresh one where I wanted to reach out to Diana to show my, not to show, but actually learn about UiPath and teach whatever I know, what I have been doing in my day-to-day life. So this is an opportunity that I've been given, and thanks to Diana for that. Now I wanted to take the opportunity to conduct this session to introduce Studio Web. You might, most of the people might have known about Studio Web, but I wanted to give my take and my perspective of what it is going to be and how it is going to be helpful. And we'll see a couple of very interesting demos, which will make you a little bit like understanding, and we'll also go to some, we'll also see some advanced demos too. Without any further ado, so let's see. So as I told in the agenda, I'll be briefly discussing about Studio Web, and I'll show you what manual triggers in Studio Web and event-based triggers will be. And we'll also go through some developing multiple Studio Web processes. So these are the processes that I wanted to demo in today's session, though mostly we'll cover one event-based demo and 3 manual-based demos. But the first one will be a template project, which is very easy in the levels of understanding. And the second one is little complex, like how can you do UI automation, scraping data from website to store in a spreadsheet. And the third one is little more complex, like you can call it little advanced. So storing attachments from email to Box Drive. It is a UiPath integration service that we are going to use here. And the fourth one is also the latest hot topic, ChatGPT. Everyone knows about that. And I'm going to demo about how you are going to integrate the OpenAI API integration service that is recently launched in UiPath, and how we are going to generate some long tests for any kind of use case But here I can quickly demo how a particular use case, which will be very beneficial. So without any further ado, let's go. And let's learn what is Studio Web. So mainly UiPath is a robotic process automation company. And the leaders, it is the leader of robotic process automation software. And here it is having lots of ecosystem. In the ecosystem, it has lots of products. And within that, Studio is one of the biggest product that they have. And there are multiple flavors for their Studio. So there are Studio Web, Studio X, Studio Pro. So Studio Web is mainly the topic that we are going to discuss today, which will be which we can discuss what are the applications and what are pros and cons in the next coming slides. And Studio X is mainly used for business developers and citizens. You can call them as citizen developers as well. And UiPath Studio is mainly used for RPA developers. So basic RPA developers who are going to get started with their RPA journey. So they will be using Studio. And Studio Pro is for some specialized developers like who want to build some document understanding frameworks and AI center integrations and machine learning model integrations. So they are going to use Studio Pro. So within the, as I told, UiPath Studio has many layers to it, and it is a big family, right? So UiPath Studio Web is consider it as a starting point for your automation journey, because it is providing a cross-platform of automations and learning about RPA and all these things. So when I say cross-platform, that means it can run on a Windows-based application or Mac OS applications, Mac OS systems, or Linux-based systems, or any kind of operating systems. So how we are going to do that, and how it is going to communicate with all these applications. So there are little dependencies when it comes to Studio Web, because it is mainly running on a web interface. So you cannot run any desktop applications and all these kind of applications using Studio Web. So those are the kind of things, but you can definitely use, if you want to run some desktop based application, you can use Studio X and Studio for that purposes. Studio X is mainly also one of the deepest focused for citizen developers, using some desktop UI automations and advanced desktop office support, but with very easy and easy drag and drop options there. And Studio is mainly used for some long running applications and some enterprise level automations. So if that's what Studio is used for, as you see in RPA developers and advanced RPA developers and senior RPA developers will be using Studio and Studio Pro. So these are having lots of both web and desktop cross-platform projects, but Studio Web is the one which we are going to discuss today. So as you have identified, why Studio Web? So to quickly get started with RPA, you can definitely start using Studio Web, and it is cross-platform ready. That means it will be it can be running on multiple operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, Linux, you name it, your Fedora, anything. So it is also having the easy compatibility with the integration service, and it is also compatible. You can download the workflows that you have built in Studio Web to Studio and Studio X within the particular operating system. So that is also possible, and schedule based and external events. So it is also triggered. It can be triggered based on 3 types of trigger modes. One can be manual and time-based and event-based triggers. So we'll discuss about that as we'll be going forward. And browser-based UI automation and live streaming. So these are the 2 main functionalities I should definitely say. So let's say you want to run a browser-based automation, like you want to capture some information from a web application and you want to store it in a spreadsheet, or you want to store it in some Word document. It can be you can easily leverage Studio Web functionalities, and you can definitely handle this. And live streaming is one of the preview functionalities here. So what live streaming means, you can directly watch what is the robot performing. So how you can do that? So UiPath Cloud Robot will let you see what the bot is performing, what click activities it is performing, and all these things. You'll also get a chance to look at the live streaming demo in this session. And IT automation enabler. So let's say you want to handle some internal IT related support activities, right? Like you want to get some access to some applications when you're in a bigger organization. So you can easily get the connections related to ServiceNow or any kind of other service enabled tickets, Zoho and anything. So you can get that integration service enabled, and you can easily build some small workflows and processes there within the Studio Web, and easy to deploy document understanding scenarios as well. So it can go a little advanced, but not you cannot do all the model training and taxonomy and all these things, but it is able to done some DU scenarios. Like you can do all the model training and all these things in the other AI center, and you can create an API, and you can integrate that services, document understanding services scenarios here, and share projects within the team. So if you want to share the projects within their teams, like they want to utilize the same process services, instead of them rebuilding the same automation again within the Studio Web, you can automatically share the projects with your teams as well. So that is the one. So how this is going to work? So there is a specific extension that you need to be enabling and installing for this web automation. We will also see how we are going to install that in the further demos that what you're going to see. But this is the required extension for Chrome or Edge. I have tried this in Mozilla Firefox as well, but it is a little lagging. But you can happily use this in Chrome and Edge browsers. And where it all begins. So you will navigate to this by opening your cloud.studio.com, cloud.uipath.com, and you can directly click on this icon where we are highlighting this one, or else you can directly navigate to studio.uipath.com. We'll also see that. And so these are all the modules that you will be seeing. So where you need to click on the new project, and how you can import the project which has been already created. So you can import into your workflow that has been created in Studio X or Studio, and you can import it into the Studio Web. So you can export the project from Studio Web to other Studio family like Studio X and Studio Web 2. So, and once you click on new project, right? So you will give your automation name or the project name, and the description and the type of trigger. So as I told, there will be 3 types of triggers, right? Like a manual trigger, event-based trigger, and time-based trigger. So what is the Studio Web interface look like? So this is the interface look like. So the trigger types, whether you will be having, I mean, this is an example that I'm showing here about how an email is received, and how we are going to configure all of these things. I'm going to demo them in the next things also. But this is how it looks like the interface will be. And on the right side, if you see the create argument and create variable, so you are going to have these options, which will let you open the data manager tab, and which will have the options of arguments and variables like you have in the UiPath Studio. And create variable. So this one will be open on run tab. This is mainly used for, this option is mainly used for seeing like checking what are the operations that you're passing when you are debugging this automation. There is an option for debugging this operation by adding your breakpoints and all these things. So we'll discuss about that. And toggle button is mainly enabled for just collapsing the triggers and making it smaller and making it bigger to see what are the options, the additional options that you're going to see here. And on the main pane of the UiPath Studio Web, you are going to see the return to the dashboards page, and this is undo and redo that you are going to see. And this is the option to run the whole project, but this is the step to run step by step, like the stepwise function that you will have in the UiPath Studio. And this is the option to publish it to the orchestrator, let it be a personal feed or tenant level feed. So this is the option to publish the Studio Web automation that you're going to build. And these are the options to add, rename, breakpoint, copy, cut, and collapse. So these are very pretty basic, which you can easily understand just by looking at it. And search for an activity. These are all the activities that are pre-built. These are all built by the UiPath integration service, and you can call them directly from here, and you can search for all the activities. So if you don't have any activities that you are looking for, so you can go to UiPath integration service builder, and that is a separate discussion. But here, what we are in this demo, what we are going to do is we are going to just build with whatever the application and activities that are available within the UiPath Studio Web. Okay, that is the integration service. And let's go to the next one: manual trigger and studio in the web automation, web UI automation. So manual triggers are mainly in this demo. What we are going to see is we are going to see the process of manually triggering to sync the files between a Google Drive and a SharePoint folder. Folder. So how we are going to do that? We are going to see that in the first demo. And the second demo that we are going to see is an UI automation project, like how we are scraping information from a website and storing that into a spreadsheet. So we are also going to see that. So without any further ado, and I'll not waste more time, and we'll go to the demo here. Let's start my demo. Awesome. So if you see this, I have already navigated to this, but I will show you one more time. As I told, you can directly navigate by using studio.uipath.com and click on enter. It takes a little while for loading this up. And if you are loading this for the first time, it takes a little while to set up the studio preview for you. So this is how you will see. And on the left-hand pane, you will see all the active services, active UiPath services that are enabled. This is orchestrator, and this is Studio Web, and this is apps and integration service and all these things. So here, as I told, there are pre-built templates that are already there for UiPath. And for this demo, the first demo, what we are going to see is we are going to see how to sync the files from a Google Drive to your SharePoint. So for that, make sure you will have a Microsoft 365 account. Okay, and you will also have a Google Drive. So for this demo, I have created a folder called as Outlook _ 30th May 2023. I'll show you what are the files that are available. So I have one file called as books.xlsx. So I wanted to, whenever someone stores some files inside this folder, I want to get them synced to my SharePoint folder. So how I'm going to do that? So just using by this template, we can easily do that. So just look out for sync Google Drive folder to OneDrive folder. Okay. And it is going to load that template for you very easily. So first of all, it is asking me to connect the Google Drive. So when I click on connect to Google Drive, it is going to give me an option to authenticate my Google Drive connection. So it is a very straightforward. Also, you should be making sure if you are doing this at an enterprise level, so you have to take permissions, necessary permissions from your IT team or your seniors. So don't try this. I'm not saying not to try this on your enterprise automation. This is all my development activities, and these are all my development accounts. So I'm just showing and demoing it to you. But if you are doing this in an enterprise level, please take necessary permissions and required permissions to run these automations. Okay. I mean, there is nothing wrong in there is no harm that data gets leaked or you're getting hacked by UiPath. It is all very safe and secured within the UiPath data. But just make sure you are getting the necessary permissions from your organization. Okay, without any further ado, let me authenticate my service here. So select what services. I'm going to give all the services and click continue. Your integration is loading. Your connection was successfully created. So it gives me an option, right? So now when a file is created, it is asking me for the in location. All I'm doing is I'm just setting up the Google Drive and SharePoint right now. I haven't started the template yet. So this is my template. That means the automation has been pre-built for me. So I wanted to move the files that are in this folder, Outlook _ 30 May 23. And I'm going to connect my Outlook account as well. For this, it will ask me to get connected to the SharePoint of my account as well. Again, you have to take permissions to do this, so just be aware of that. Awesome. So it has created. So the in location will be the Google Drive Outlook _30 May, and the destination folder. Also make sure you are creating a destination folder in your documents. Yeah, I have a G Drive _30 May 23, so that I'm making a copy of my Google Drive from here to here. So that's what. So it always asks you to double click to open. So make sure you're double clicking it. Generally it opens it one single click, but here it is asking for a double click to open. So just make sure you're selecting the right drive. Okay. Also, let me show you, there are nothing here inside this folder right now, right? So I have just selected it. I will use this template. Click on use this template. Okay, everything has been preloaded for you. You doesn't need to do anything. So if you want to change the name, you can go ahead and change it to sync G Drive to SharePoint. Okay, and just click on this arrow, and we can run this step by step, or we can just automatically do this just by clicking on run. So let me click on run, and on the left right hand side it shows what are the operations that are being triggered, and it clearly shows, you know, whether it has been successful or not. So if it is turning as green, that means check mark, that means it is successfully running and everything has been successfully passed. And if it is turning as an error, it will throw you an error and it will show what error it has occurred. So for me, it has successfully ran. And let's see, the file is books.xlsx, and I don't see here. Let me refresh this. Perfect, last minute ago. So it just created a synced my G Drive folder, Google Drive folder to my SharePoint, right? So that's simple it is. So within no time, we have created this automation. And for my second automation, it is a little advanced one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to demo the operation of UI automation. Like I wanted to scrape some information from a website. That website will be books to scrape. And I'll show you what I wanted to do. I wanted to scrape the information of the fiction books. So there are 65 fiction books. I want to scrape all this information of the book name, the price, and all in all these 4 pages. So there are 4 pages here. So all I want to do is I wanted to scrape all this information with just by creating one small automation, and see how easy it would be. Okay. For that, I wanted to go back to this click on go to projects button. Okay. I want to click on new project. So previously what we did is we created a template project, which will be used for already created templates. But for this one, I wanted to create a new project, and let's give a project name. So let's type the project name as web scraping to share to a spreadsheet. Okay. I want to write scrape project description, like scrape the information, scrape the website information and store it in a spreadsheet. Okay. And if you see how to start the automation, it will show you 3 modes: manual mode, event-based mode, and time-based mode. Now for this automation, I wanted to show you the manual mode itself. Also, before going this, I wanted to show you in what file I wanted to store this. So I wanted to store this spreadsheet data in a spreadsheet folder and in this books file, which I have already created this. So I wanted to store the data, whatever the bot is going to scrape from this website, into this folder. Okay, currently there is no data here, so let's not worry. Once we create this automation, we'll be able to see that. Okay, for this, the first automation, what we need to do is first we have to use a browser application So we have to use browser activity. So click on use browser. It clearly shows you on the below opens a web browser page to use in your automation. So that's what we wanted to do. Okay. And if you see here, to work with browser tabs, you need to install the UiPath web automation extension. So previously I told you, right, in the slides, that you have to get an extension installed. So it is very easy. You don't even need to go there. If you click on this button, it will automatically take you there and it will get installed. So as we are using Microsoft Edge, it will take me to a Microsoft Edge.Microsoft marketplace to get this browser extension installed, and click on add extension. And if it is Chrome, it is going to do the same thing too. So just keep that in mind. Okay, it has been installed successfully. So if I go back, so it has been refreshed, and this message should go away for me. Okay, let's wait for a while. Perfect. See, that message has been gone. So now work in scope and select a tab to automate. So it is asking me to select a tab. So I have to select this tab of books to scrape. Awesome. And now what I have to do is I have to click on the button. Okay, I have to click on the button called as fiction. So it is on. Does this website require authentication? No, actually, there is no authentication. This is a sample website for demoing purposes. So if you need any other websites which requires authentication, just make sure you are creating the login workflows before this one. As I'm wanted to do this demo within less time, I'm using demoing this sample websites. Okay, keep that in mind. You want to do that. And now the next activity will be within the use browser activity scope. You have to create a click activity that I have to click on the fiction books, right? Clicks on a specified UI element. Okay, just drag and drop that. Now it is asking me to indicate target on screen. So what is the target? I want to click on the fiction books. Awesome. And let's see what it is going to do here. It is going to generate a target selector. Awesome. It has given me a fuzzy selector. I want to make it more dynamic by adding wild characters. So I want to add a star symbol here, and I will validate this again one more time. Perfect. It has been validated, right? I will click on confirm. Now it has been confirmed. It has been loaded. So all the steps that you need to take care of, how you want to make the selector dynamically more dynamic and create some wild characters to do these things. So it is very important to do that. And my next activity will be, after this click has happened, I want to use extract to table, extract table data. Okay, I will use this. And again, it is, as this is all inside the use browser scope, activity scope, we don't need to worry. So now what I wanted to extract, it's going to give me an option, add a new column. First, I wanted to extract the name of the book. Okay, this is the one. So I wanted to first extract the name. I don't want to go with the URL. So I will write the book name. Okay. And I will confirm this. And my second column will be the price. What is the price? Perfect. It is selecting everything, right? So I will select the price and I will confirm this. And again, the final one is I wanted to get the URL of the fund. So URL of the book. So I will now extract the URL, book name URL, or I can just type book URL. Okay, I will confirm this. And is the extract data from multiple pages? Yes, we have multiple pages to see here. So for that, I have to click on yes option here, and I have to go ahead and show the next button. Okay, let's see. Click on the target next button. Perfect. Now click and save and close. Once you click save and close, it is automatically going back. And it is going to extract the information here. It is taking a little while to load this. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. now it is going to extract the output data to this one. And if you click on this plus icon, you can directly use the variable that has been already created, or you can click on save as a variable and create a new variable here. I wanted to create a new variable, so I will write extracted data. Okay, and I will create a new variable data. And what the next step, what I wanted to do is I wanted to store this data into a spreadsheet, right? So I wanted to click on write range. I will drag and drop a new range, write range activity. So yeah, it is loading. Just give it a little time. Okay. Now, what is the workbook that it needs to write to? So go ahead and select your OneDrive folder. Just make sure you have to double click on this instead of single clicking. So I already have a workbook, right, in the spreadsheet folder. Yeah, I want to store this in the book.xlsx, and the range will be whether it has to be in the sheet 1 or sheet 2, or all these things will be given up. So I want to store this in the sheet 1 and include headers, yes, and overwrite if there is any other data, just overwrite it. And what to write? So you are storing this value, the DT extracted data, right? So make sure you are storing the same data here. And that's it. Also, let's make sure you are getting the exact values. So let's click a drag and drop a log message here. So what do you want to log? I want to log how many rows of data it is extracting. Rows count. Okay, perfect. I want to write total rows extracted. Okay. And the log level will be info. For this, I can also show you the extracted information of by adding a breakpoint at the log message level. So once I click on run, it is going to trigger until this extracted table data, and it is going to stop here. And then we will see what it is going to do by opening on run output and all these things. So let's see by clicking on run. Also, in this demo, you will have to get to see the live streaming functionality as well. So once it starts, it is going to show in the small screen. If you want to make it bigger, so you can see the live streaming option on a bigger screen too. So this is not the same browser. This is the different browser that UiPath Cloud Robot is running on. We can call it as, actually, this is UiPath serverless robot. So it is just looking, it has already clicked on the fiction data. If you see that fiction data has been highlighted, right? And let's see, let's go back to our screen. Perfect. It has been doing this extract table data because you are seeing this filter icon, right? Okay, perfect. Now it has passed this extract table data also. Now let me show you the option of, it has stopped at this breakpoint, right? Let me show you this option, open watches panel. Watches panel is the same thing that you will have in the studio. So you can directly click on like get the extracted data table from this one, dot row count. Okay. The value, I mean, once it will take a little while. So it is total 65, right? So let's see whether it is true or not, whether it is 65 rows or not. Fiction. Yeah, 65 results, 65 data. That's perfect. So let me, don't click on stop, just click on continue. So it is going to write the range of the information to this books.xlsx. Okay. Perfect. It is also successfully ran this. So now what I have to see, the information in this book, the 65 books information that has to be loaded into the spreadsheet. See, it has scraped everything. Actually, this like removing this first header, so it is all 65 rows. See, so that easy, that much easily we can create UI automations using Studio Web. And in our third demo, what I wanted to show you is, it is a little complex one. So I wanted to show you an event-based trigger. So how an event-based trigger runs. So in that event-based trigger, what I wanted to cover in this demo will be whenever you receive an email with an attachment, so how the bot will download that attachment into your Box drive. So Box is a separate, is like a cloud server where you can store all your informations. Like it is like same like Dropbox, Google Drive, and all these things, but it has a separate connection that needs to be taken care of. So with integration service, we are also going to get that Box connection demo too. So let's go back to our studio, to our process. And again, you click on this new project and now select the option called as event-based trigger and give the project name, email attachment to. So save email attachment to Box drive. Okay, give it a project description. Process of automatically saving the email attachments to a Box drive. Okay. And click on create. So first, as it is not a manual trigger, it is going to ask what should trigger this automation, right? So the event that it should get triggered is whenever you receive an email, the automation should be triggered. I will also show you the orchestrator side connections, what it is going to take care of. So this is all the authentication that you need to take care, which we have previously seen. And you might ask me why it is authenticating multiple times. Previously, we have authenticated for SharePoint, and this is the authentication that you're doing for Outlook mail. So though that authentication service request is different and this one is different, but all you need to do is just one-time connectivity. And from next process, you don't need to worry about this connection. It is automatically going to load. And the good thing is, you can immediately check whether the connection is active or not just by clicking on check selected connection. And if it is throwing a check mark here, that means the connection is active and you are ready to build your automation. Awesome. And once we have drag and drop the email received folder, we wanted to see on which folder I want to run. I want to run it on inbox folder. And again, I wanted to show you my inbox folder, whether I have any emails received or not. Outlook. About that. It is taking a little while. Let's load this. Awesome. So I will send an email from my Outlook of my company's Outlook. So the email will be looking like this. So it will be consisting of an attachment. Okay. It will be having an attachment file of UiPath orchestrator environment. And you will see what's going to happen after this runs. Let's go back to our Studio Web. And the next one, once you have received an email, right? You have to select what kind of email that it has to check for. With attachments only, yes, turn it as true. Return body as HTML, yes, I want the body as HTML. And include attachments, that's true. Mark as read, make it mark as read. And yeah, if you want to save the received email in any variable, just save the variable. You can write output underscore email, and you can create a variable like that. And once you have received an email, right, the next thing you have to do is download the attachments. So select the option for download attachments. Yeah, download attachment is there, but it is for ServiceNow. Make sure you are downloading the right one. Download email, but I wanted to download email with attachment. Yeah, see this, download email attachments. Perfect. There you go. And the email, what is the email variable? Again, it is going to be output email that we have just created. And exclude inline attachment. That means inline attachments will be if you are attaching any of your signature images of your company's logo or something, so you want to exclude them. You don't need to include them because it will get confused. So just make sure you're excluding them. And download attachment lists. If there are multiple attachments, right, you wanted to download these, download all the attachments. And again, I'm going to save this to a list variable. So list underscore attachment. Perfect. And once I have downloaded all the email attachments, right, what I have to do, I have to upload them to the Box drive. So for that, I wanted to show you the Box drive connection here. Let's go to the Box drive. Yeah. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to quickly create a new folder with name as Outlook, and let's give it today's date, like 30 May 23, and save it. And make sure there are no files inside it. So what it has to do is it has to create a folder for me inside this Box folder that I just created, and it has to store the attachments that downloading from my email, right? So what I have to do next one is to create a folder. Create a folder. Oh, wait a minute. Instead of this, I can quickly go to the Box activities. So it is here. So if you click on that particular activity, it is going to give you what are all the activities that are available inside this Box connectivity. So the first one I have to do is I have to create a folder within the Box, right? So it is installing the activity. So it is asking me to connect to Box. Okay, make that authentication connection ready. Click on connect, grant Box access to Box, and make sure you are getting respective permissions from your IT department or your managers to do all these automations within the enterprise level. If you want to do this on your own, just feel free to do this on your own accounts. Okay, create folder, and the folder name. So give it a folder name. You can give the folder name anything. I wanted to give the folder name as email attachments. Perfect. Parent folder ID. So it is asking me for a folder ID. What is the ID that it should be given? It is this ID. So it will have a specific ID for Box because it is all API connectivities, right? So for the Box, this is the parent ID of the particular folder. So make sure you are copying the right one. I mean, currently I'm hard coding these values, but if you don't want to do that, you can create the variables and you can pass the values here right itself. Okay, just make sure you're following the necessary protocols. But just for the demo purpose, I'm hard coding all the values here. And once it is creating a new folder, right, it is going to get me a new folder ID. So you have to create that into a variable. So this is going to be text folder ID. Okay, it is going to be a type text. Okay, and once the folder is created, what I have to do, I have to upload the files into this particular folder, right? So I will open the Box. Where is upload file, right? You will get that and see the magic here. So once this is for one single file, right? But we are getting the email download attachments into a list variable. So how it is going to take care? The file resource is going to take care. Before that, I wanted to give the file resource list attachment and see the operations here. I wanted to give the item and I wanted to store the file item here, right? As this is a list, right? It is going to automatically, the UiPath Studio Web is very smart and is going to automatically loop this into a for each loop, right? It is going to create a for each loop and it is going to throw the upload file activity inside that. And it is going to call the current file activity inside this. See, so you don't need to worry about looping this through again. So all you need to do is just remember the processes and steps that you wanted to perform very keenly. And next one, parent folder ID. It is not the parent folder ID of the one which you have created, the one which you are going to create this one, right? So you have stored that in a variable called as txt Okay, let me get that value. It is going to be txt fold id, and this is the one. And file name will be the same file name, whatever I stored there. So where I'm going to get that, it is going to be the file name from here. The item dot name, item dot full name. I will get the full name. Okay. And I know that there is only one file, right? I don't want this loop to be continued. So I will just break this loop as this is just for a demo. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an email sent from my, sent from my email, and forward. I wanted to demo this. I wanted to forward this email to Hotmail for your information. Okay, and make sure you have received that email right now. I'm just refreshing my Outlook of my Hotmail account. Yeah, I just received an email 4:47 p.m. right? Perfect. Let's debug this process just for demoing purpose, and I will also show you how the event-based trigger works in the next steps. Perfect. It is going to run the project. So email is received or not. Yep, perfect. Download email attachment is all successful. Create folder is successful. And now for each is successful. Perfect. It has completed everything. So all it has to do is, yeah, it has turned the email that we received into like red one. It was previously unread, and now the automation has made it as a red file, red email. Okay, it has to download this particular attachment, UiPath orchestrator environment, into this folder, right? There is nothing here, but let me refresh this. Awesome. Email attachments. I have to see the file inside, the PDF file inside this one. See, very good. Let me open this up. Yep, the file is loading successfully. Awesome. You see, that's one of the advanced demos just to show you how to make a connection enabled from your downloading emails from your Outlook to a Box drive, which is by using some integration service activities. And in my final demo, I wanted to show you the latest trending OpenAI connection, OpenAI API connection within the integration service, and to create a long form content of by using ChatGPT. So let's see that. And let me click on new project, and I will write ChatGPT demo. Create long form content. And I'm going, oh, sorry. I wanted to show you how this event-based trigger works, right? Okay, let's do that before going to the ChatGPT demo. Save email to attachment. So I have ran this process successfully, right? Okay. Once I ran this process successfully, that means I have it has passed the initial unit testing. So I wanted to publish this automation to my personal workspace feed. So I will actually name this. Okay, I have already named this, and I will publish this to my personal workspace feed. And if I click on publish, right, it has it shows automation has been published. Now let's go to the orchestrator. Okay, it takes a little while. And also let me show you what it is going to demo in the Studio Web automations page. You see an automation we have published. Yep. Save email to box attached drive, just published, right? This is what's going to happen. The second one. And any runs? No, we haven't run this. This is from my previous like demos yesterday that I have prepared for. And let's see the orchestrator, what it is going to show. It is going to show me the processes that there are here. Save email attachment to box drive, the 1.0.0. This is the process. And if you want to click on triggers, and there are 3 types of triggers: time triggers, queue triggers, event triggers. So the trigger that we have created is for event trigger, right? So this is the one which we have created. I wanted to just make sure I will disable this, delete this. So this is the one. So the trigger is already active. So what it is going to do is, whenever you receive an email, whenever you send an email, it is automatically going to be triggered and it is going to run the job. So currently there are no jobs running. I mean, I think this is the previous one, which we have already created. But once this is done, it is going to run the automation wherever that it is there. So let's quickly see that demo as well. I wanted to quickly forward or send one more email and show you that event-based trigger, how it is going to get activated. Okay, I have just sent the email. Just let's make sure the email has been received. Yeah, the email has been received. Forward 52. And let's open the orchestrator and see what will happen here once the email has been triggered, right? This is the old job. I cannot stop this for some reason, but once this is stopped running, the next process will automatically be triggered. Okay, let's see. That's how the processes will be very smart in triggering this. Let's see what's happening. Still running 9 minutes ago. Yeah, this is a backend session. I think the one which we have created for the Studio Web is still running, but you got the point, right? So once it is automatically triggered, the bot is going to run the job here and it is automatically going to trigger. But I'll show you this once we are doing the automation too. We'll keep an eye on that. So the next project I wanted to demo is the ChatGPT text generator. I will name text long text generator. So I will write the description: OpenAI's API for ChatGPT service, text generation service. Okay, and I will just manually trigger this. So what I wanted to do is, for this one, I wanted to run like take an email from my Gmail. Okay, and I wanted to so everyone will be getting some emails like how I can do the like how I can get a job in Google as an ML engineer, or how to do all these things. So I wanted to tackle that option, and I wanted to see how we can do this. Okay, so the text is saying that, please help me land a job at Google as an ML engineer. It would be great if you could present the options in a detailed way. So if someone emails you like this, right, you don't know how to respond to them, and you might not have time to respond to them in LinkedIn or in any other social network services, or anyone can ask you all these kind of questions. So you can build a simple automation to tackle these kind of questions, and like OpenAI connectivity and the UiPath Studio Web will make your automations life much easier. So let's see what I'm going to do in this demo is, the bot is going to read these kind of emails, and it is going to send this email body to OpenAI's API connector, which will communicate with ChatGPT and generate a long form of text for me, and it is going to give you the output which actually looks like this. I'm going to just demo this option for you. Like, please help me land a job. If I type this in ChatGPT, it is going to give me an option like this, right? How we are going to do the same thing in just if that, let's take a simple use case. Like if someone asks you, hey, how I can land a job in your company, or how I can land an ML engineer job at Google. So how we are going to tackle that option. So let's see that. Mark as 100, and let's see how it is going to do. Hey, see, our previous save email attachment bot event has been triggered, and it is going to run this. So that's simple it is. Okay, let's go ahead and create Gmail, get the newest email. Perfect. Again, I previously connected to the Google Drive in our first demo, but this is a Gmail. So this is a different authentication. So you have to authenticate it for one more time. Continue. Okay, and the email folder will be the startup folder. Okay, so once I have received this email, what I have to do is I will be saving this email in a variable. So let's create a variable for this. So email output, I'll create a variable. And once this email variable is received, right? So what I have to do, I have to pass this email body into the OpenAI's API connector here. So let's type for OpenAI. Okay, OpenAI generate text completion, or yeah, this is the one. For this, actually, you need a API connectivity from OpenAI. So you have to go to this link to generate a secret key. I've already generated a secret key, which you can also do this for free. So connect to OpenAI. Okay. I'm going to create a connection enabled here. Your connection has been enabled. And what I have to do is I have to select the respective model. What is the prompt for me? The prompt will be email output, and it is going to be my body. Go to the body and text. Okay. Sometimes it is going to act weird. Okay. Just remove all the stuff. And once this is done, what I wanted to do is just leave all it same as is. I wanted to just get the response. So get response into another variable. So that will be my save as variable txt long generated text. Okay, and click on create. Okay, all you need to do is just pass this information into a log message, or if you want to send an email back to that person, respective person, you can do that. So I wanted to first see the long generated text message. Txt long generated text. Okay, perfect. Remove this unwanted one and select the log level as info. And again, I wanted to send the Gmail. Send email. Yeah, let's make it as my email, student1.utd@gmail.com. The subject will be chat GPT response. And the body will be the txt long generated text. Okay, just make sure you are passing that. And there are no attachments, and don't save it as a draft, just send it. Okay, let's run this. Let's see what it is going to do. Perfect, the project is building. Yep, the manual trigger has been triggered, getting the newest email. That is successful, text generation complete. So this is the main OpenAI's API activity. It is going to communicate with the ChatGPT model. It has to execute. Yeah, perfect. So see the log message. Okay. So that's simple. It is that you are receiving emails from ChatGPT as well. It is going to be, okay, wait a minute. So this is the generated by ChatGPT message, and this is going to be a little unpolished, but you can make sure you're getting the information, right? So whatever the information that you want ask ChatGPT, so it is going to generate and give it back to you. So this ends all my demo, and this is a complete process of how you can create automations from starting from simple templates to advanced automations within Studio Web. So please feel free to ask me any questions.
Great. So you just had one question in the chat.
Yep.
Which was, do you have a license for all the three?
Yes. So do we have license for what?
He wanted to know if it was very early in the presentation, if you had a license for all three.
It is all community license, so it is a free version, I should say.
Okay.
Studio Web is available free for anyone who is using community UiPath services. So yeah.
Okay, great. And that's all the questions we have. So I just want to thank everybody for coming, and Naveen, thank you very much. This is a great presentation.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Diana.
Uh-huh.